How you been, man? You
Uh,
good?
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah, everything's good.
everything.
Going on good so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Excellent. Yeah. Cool, man.
how's things going for you, Bjorn?
Oh, not bad. Can't complain. Things are going pretty good. I'm just planning out the year with you know, gigs and recordings and releases and, stuff like that. So
Awesome, awesome.
absolutely.
So, Bjorn, your new album, Desert Fire, is to be out on April 4th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and production that goes behind this new album?
Yes, we have been working hard on this record. It's been all mixed and mastered, and we're looking to announce the release date here shortly. And we're excited. We're really excited to see everybody's reaction to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Sounds great, sounds great. Desert Fire has some kind of concept or a theme behind it.
Well, it does. It kind of represents a lot of the songs as far as, I mean, it can mean a lot of different things, but there was actually when we were recording the record, there was actually a fire in the desert where we were in the mountains and we were like, oh my God, what's going on? There's a fire here. But previously to that, there had been a fire in the studio.
No.
And so we just thought it would be a title that's and it kind of represents kind of these times now in the world where you know you don't think that these problems could occur, but they do. In the desert fire, but uh, whether it's in world problems or the fires we just had in California as well, it kind of happens to just be fitting right into that. But also, we're working together. That was the song, the lyrics were more about us, a, a good working relationship between all of us, and mainly came up. The lyrics came up when me and Mike Cancino, the drummer, wrote
Yeah.
the music together, and I did the lyrics and the vocal melody and all that stuff. But um, it just it was just kind of it was interesting too because uh, how we met was um, a- an interesting story. This is years back. Our drummer had moved to the East Coast. Our drummer at the time, Mike Taylor, and he was a great drummer and a great friend. But he moved to the East Coast, so he could no longer be in the band. We had um, some shows coming up in California, in the mountain areas of California, and we needed a drummer, and we just couldn't seem to find one. And I think I talked to about 40 people
Mm.
uh, and total, and I've never spoke to more than maybe two people
Yeah.
trying to find a musician ever. You call one guy, I can't do it, but I know this guy. Or you call the next guy on the list and he can do it. People always want to work and, that kind of thing. So it's very rare. It was very, very strange. So the first person on the list that I thought of was Mike's brother. And this is before I knew Mike.
Mm.
And but I skipped him because he's always busy. So I'm like, I'm not, not gonna call him. His name's Chad Cancino. And I didn't call Chad. And after going through about 40 people, I said, what the heck? I'm gonna go back to the top of the list. I'm gonna call Chad, sorry. I'm gonna call Chad and ask him. And I said, can you do the gig? And he said, I can't, but I'll send my brother. And I said, what do you mean send your brother? Like, no, he said, trust me, you're gonna love him. And it was just like that, and it was sort of a meant to be kind of thing, and Mike, his work ethic, just like his brother, just a great guy and great work ethic. And um uh now sadly Chad passed away. His brother passed away a few months ago. So um and but they both just come from a great family of all musicians and with great work ethic. And Mike, when we did this gig together. It was like no rehearsal. I gave him a CD. The CD had just come out, and I said, learn uh, listen to it and choose two songs and that you want to play and you want to come in and jam with us. And so I called him back a week later and I said, have you picked two songs? He said, it doesn't matter. I know the whole album. So he comes in and he drives 2 hours to get to the audition. He's there an hour before everybody else.
Mhm.
So we start playing the first song, whichever song he picked. I can't remember which song it was now, but he picked one song and he started playing. And in after the second verse, he stops and he stands up and he goes, "Hey, guys, stop. It doesn't go two times before the second pre-chorus. It goes three times. Let's do it again." So
Mhm.
he's correcting us already, already knows the songs better than we do. So it was kind of like I like to tell the story too, and I like musicians to hear that story because you can blame all sorts of circumstances. Sometimes you go to an audition and you don't get the gig, and the reasons are beyond your control. Maybe they're looking for a guy with blue hair, or they're looking for a guy that lives in a certain geographical area. It could be things that you can't control. You might be the perfect bass player in your mind, but there's also things you can control, like being prepared basically is 90% of it. And it also eliminates nervousness,
Mhm.
being nervous going on stage fright. People don't believe that, but 90% of it is preparation. If you're 110% prepared, 90% of the nervousness or the bad nervousness will go away. So, and so it's sort of the main reason I like to tell the story, but also uh, I like to tell the story because it's I don't know, it's almost like a religious thing where you I was thinking there had to be somebody up there going, no, no, you need this guy.
Yeah,
And it was my first experience in life where it was so obvious that I couldn't deny it. And so some things are just meant to be, I think.
beautiful, beautiful, awesome. And I had the pleasure, and thanks for you to share the music to let me listen for giving me an early listening experience of this new album. I have to say it's an amazing album, 11 beautiful songs. How awesomely written. The musicianship is mind blowing. The vocals are to a new level, and uh, each and every song beautifully crafted. And totally loving this album, Bjorn. And thank you guys so much for putting up an amazing album this year. And as a creator, so how do you guys feel about the new album and the outcome of it?
We're all happy about it and for different reasons, but also the same reasons being that we sort of just play the way we play, and we leave a lot of things to spontaneity. And we like to be organic. We don't like to fake things. We don't like to replace things. There's things here and there. Obviously, there's been some noises you discover. There's a microphone that cuts out, but what you hear is what we played and what we sang. There's no auto tune on the vocals. There's no fake this and fake that. We play everything. We don't copy and paste
Yes,
verses or choruses, so none of that. So, and the reason being, I think we all agreed on that, all four of us, that we don't like where music has been going lately, where a lot of it has become cookie cutter.
it's true.
What happens, everything starts to sound the same. And when you turn on a record, you don't hear the human element. When you auto tune and you replace things and you try to make things perfect, perfect for a listener is not necessarily the answer. You need to feel, music, and when you can feel that's the emotion that the guy had when he played it or sang it, when you uh, transfer that to the listener and he can experience the same thing, I think you've succeeded. So I think not perfect, but I don't think we were looking for perfect. We were looking for for an emotion, a vibe. And each song, sometimes you have to mix the drums differently, or you have to mix the guitar or whatever differently because it's a different song, you know? And obviously, you learn from everything too. There's obviously things we did this time around that we don't want to do again because it becomes very time consuming when you don't follow the continuity of for example, you know kind of mixing as you're going, like as you're recording, do one song at a time kind of thing. So
Beautiful. And almost a year back, you give us a feel of Soul Science Clean Soil, the first track from the album. So, would you like to tell me the making of this video, and are there more videos coming up before the release of the album?
this one video will come right at the release of the record. We're going to have a single in between.
Yeah,
So I mean, this video we did in the desert out in Nevada near Las Vegas, and it was done quickly. And I kind of like to work that way. I don't like to put too much into shooting it once with a band and shoot each guy individually once. If somebody doesn't look good in one section, you use something else, and there's a lot of things you can do in editing. So um, it turned out great. There was things that happened where we lost some footage. The main camera, the battery ran out. We had to film some stuff with the iPhone,
yeah, yeah.
and but you work with what you have, and I think that's the most important thing. And it doesn't have to be perfect footage. It has to be footage that works with the music. And if the guy looks great playing, if
Mm,
the footage is a little grainy, that's okay, in my opinion. So.
fantastic, fantastic. And any big plans on the day of the release?
Well, we're gonna have a little party. No show at the party, but we'll do some shows in California up and down the coast in May. What it just hasn't they haven't been confirmed yet, but towards the end of May we're gonna do some shows, and we're excited about that. And we're working with a great promoter agent on this, and it's going well so far. So we're excited about that to follow up with that. And uh, we have a label for a physical release in the United States, and this will be for import for the rest of the world. But if there's labels that want to release this in other parts of the world, you let me know. But you can always get the record directly from soulsignband.com, or you can get it directly through the label. And we're gonna now give all those details when we announce the release. But obviously, it'll be released digitally on all the digital platforms on April 4th. So yeah.
Fantastic. And speaking of the touring, post California and the West Coast tour, are you planning to have some international touring or some big festivals that you're planning to come up with for the year?
We don't have anything booked at this time, but we're ready to go anywhere, possibly Mexico, possibly Europe. We'd love to go to Japan as a really good market for us, I believe. So nothing planned so far, but we're working on it, and so we'll see.
Fantastic. And as you said, you are planning for a digital release and post-digital release. Will there be CD or vinyl or some kind of plans that you have in pipeline?
I'm sorry, didn't hear that. Sorry.
So post release of the album, are you planning to have the album released as a CD or a vinyl or different kind of planning that you're having for the release?
Yeah, yeah, we're looking to have a CD for sure, around April 4th, and vinyl as soon as possible. So we right at this second today, I don't have the answer for when they will all be, but the plan is to have CD and vinyl for sure. Yeah, I know some parts of the world they even buy cassettes now,
Yeah,
so we'd love to do cassette as well. I mean, if people like it, why not?
absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And any upgrade to the merchandise? Are you planning for a new T-shirt or some hoodies or some things like that for this release?
We have a T-shirt already, which is in relation to this release. A photo of the T-shirt was taken during or the shoot of the Clean Soil video, same day. Um, so we'll have those on our website, soulsignband.com, and we're looking to make more merch for sure, possibly hats, possibly some hoodies, some other things.
It sounds good. And recently, you also worked with Voodoo Wise Guys for the single Someday You'll Know. So, would you like to tell me a bit on working with these guys and how things went? And would you like to tell me about the song in particular?
Um, I think I love the song, and I think we all feel the same way. Everybody involved. I think it's a fantastic song, and when I got the track from George Lynch, I laid the bass. I was like, well, I there's not much for me to do. I stayed real simple, because I felt that's what the song needed was a very simple bass line with an approach of, not necessarily a traditional approach of playing eighth notes, boom, 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 boom through the whole song, but to reverse it a
Yeah.
little bit. And uh, so I know the first verse I'm playing eighth notes, and the second verse I'm playing quarter notes, kind of the reversed way of people how people would normally do. But again, getting away from the cookie cutter kind of approach. And I think George just played one of the best I've ever heard him play, and Joe Reda is just a fantastic singer, and the drum track is just really solid and goes perfectly with the bass, how we kind of keep a really simple foundation, which sometimes that's what the song calls for, and I like to play that way. If that's what the song needs, that's what I'll play. So no, we're really happy with it, and the video came out great. John Haggard, who directed it, is just a great director, and he's very uh, he's great at fine tuning and getting it right. So yeah, we're very happy with it, and our fantastic label, legendary artists. They're just wonderful friends and wonderful people, and it just really been behind this, and we can't wait to do more. We're looking to hopefully do more songs or maybe possibly a full record with this lineup. So it's not official yet, but that's what we're we're looking at that, and it's going to be great. I can't wait.
And I also saw the video for Out of the Dark and an awesome song. And the video was really awesome, and the musicianship and everything was so beautiful in this video and the song. So, you want to talk a bit about on this making of this video and about the song in particular?
Oh, Soul Sign, Out
Yeah,
of the Dark.
yeah.
Yeah, that it was a White Room cover, and the label approached me and they said, "Listen, we'd like for you to guys to do a cover." And I said, "I think that's a great idea." And the first song that immediately came to mind was White Room by Cream. And it's a great song, but it needs a modern version, and I was just thinking of the musicians in the band, thinking that we would really be able to present this well and do a great rendition of it, with everything from Mike to Rob to Mark's vocals. I could just hear it in my head and be like, this is going to be great. I can't wait. Uh, and then in the intro I came up with uh, was just out of the blue. My girlfriend put on some sleeping music for us to sleep to. And I kept waking up in the middle of the night and I kept hearing Rob playing a solo over it. And I was like, well, we're not really a keyboard band. So I'll do something on the bass, and then I'll have him solo over it. So that's how that came about. And I went back to sleep, and then I woke up. In my dream, I heard us going into White Room from that intro. So it wasn't like I planned it. It was in my dream. It was like, no, I just woke up and I heard just in this White Room, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is how it's going to be. So, and the guys in the band, they seemed to like it.
Yeah.
Our label liked it, so we stuck to it, and and it came out great. And again, uh, same director for that movie as the Voodoo Wise Guys. That it's John Haggard who did a just fantastic job, and he was great to work with, and hope to work with him again.
Fantastic, fantastic, Bjorn. And any work along with DIO Disciples lately, or how things are with DIO Disciples now?
Oh, a really good question. We have we're gonna play at the Rock for Ronnie in May on May 18th, which is gonna be in Los Angeles at a new location, which we're looking forward to. I think it's gonna be a perfect location for this. Uh, so we're gonna be there. Sebastian Bach is gonna be there. Uh, Kill Devil Hill is gonna play, and then it's gonna be like an all-star band, which I don't know what that's gonna comprise of yet, but so it'll be a great day. And normally around that time, the weather's pretty good too. Be comfortable, not too hot, and we're looking forward to that. We've been talking about doing some festivals also in Europe in the summer, but that nothing's been confirmed, and at this point, it looks like that may not happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And in the past, you have worked along with Robin McCauley, Yngwie, Uli Jon Roth, and a lot of other people. So, are you planning to work along with them in the future, or are you planning to have some touring to have along with these people?
I'd love to. I loved working with all of them, and Robin's a great guy. We stayed in touch, and he's still going strong and sounds better than ever, and he's just awesome. I'd love to work with him again. And I loved working with Yngwie. I had a great time in his band, and it'd be great to do something with Robin again, at some point, if we can, if you know our roads will cross in that meeting. And but Tony and I Tony McAlpine and I stay in touch. We just did a thing back in the fall with the Soul Sign and Tony McAlpine and Vinnie Moore called the Autumn Lords, and and we had a time. We just did some show. I've I've had a blast working with almost everyone I work with. Of course, not every band has been great, but like the ones you mentioned, I've it's been wonderful.
Awesome, awesome.
But
And
but like no, to answer your question, no plans at this time now.
got gotcha, Bjorn. And a great decades and decades of awesomeness that you have given to the fans around the world with your amazing music and your contribution towards heavy metal music. And how do you feel about the road that you have traveled so far?
I'm very happy about it. I've seen some great places in the world, and I've had some really good experiences. I'd love to do more. There's still countries I haven't been to. I still haven't played in Australia or New Zealand and down that way. I haven't played in India. There's places in South America I haven't played too, so that I'd love to play. But so I'd love to get back out and do some world touring again. Absolutely.
Fantastic, Bjorn. And Bjorn, finally, any message that you have for the Soul Sign fans around the world?
A message, check out the record. I'd love to hear from you, every one of you, to see what you think of it and your opinion. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite songs and why and all that stuff. It's gonna be, I'm really looking forward to everyone's reaction. And if you can, get a physical copy of the CD to support the band so we can get out and tour and you can see us live.
Beautiful, beautiful, Bjorn. And Bjorn, I want to thank you again so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to you again on your new album, Desert Fire, which is to be out on April 4th. Like I said earlier, an amazing heavy metal album, keeping the classic roots and not putting a lot of modern stuff inside of it and keeping it real awesome, like the good old days. And great album, like I said. I'm totally loving each and every song from this album, and I'm really sure once it's out, a lot of people are gonna come fall in love with this album. So great work again, and thank you so much, Bjorn. And
Thank
I,
you. You're
bye.
welcome. What and before you go, what's your favorite song, if you can pick one?
I loved everything, to be honest, even from Clean Soil to Lost Vegas. I enjoyed each and every song from this album. Even the last one,
Oh,
Soul Side. Everything has you have done beautifully awesome, Bjorn. I really enjoyed. Like I'm a
thank
bit
you.
old school guy who doesn't pick songs from the album, but when I love an album, I go for the entire album, not as some of the greatest things from an album. So that's how I listen to music. Being a guy from the 80s, this is how we listen to music, right? So that's how I
Absolutely. Yeah, I know
totally
exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. Great. No, I appreciate that. It's been wonderful and appreciate your time and it's really always good talking to you.
always a pleasure, Bjorn. Take care of yourself and have a great evening.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.